Every group has a rhythm. Every society, a script. Most people follow it without question, repeating patterns dressed as personalities. Then one man shows up and without saying much, he burns the entire structure to the ground. That man is the Sigma, not because he tries to stand out, but because he refuses to blend in. And in that refusal, he reveals the cracks everyone else ignores. He is the Black Swan of human behavior, unplanned, unboxed, and utterly immune to your categories. Not rare because he hides rare because most men are too afraid to live that free. People don't fear what they understand. They fear what breaks their illusion quietly. Now let's break down 10 reasons why the Sigma male doesn't just disrupt the social matrix, he replaces it. 1. He's not built different. He deconstructed himself. Most men are molded by their environment. He tore the mold apart. The Sigma wasn't born with mystique, he earned it. Through years of brutal self-honesty, solitude, and choosing clarity over comfort. He's not weird, he's refined. You don't understand him because you haven't done the work he has. People call him hard to read. That's because he speaks in a language most haven't learned: self-ownership. He doesn't carry other people's scripts. He rewrote his own. And in a world of default settings, that's not different. That's dangerous. He's immune to shallow psychology tricks because he already tore himself apart and put the pieces back differently. The trauma didn't break him. It woke him. He didn't need validation. He needed reconstruction. That's why you can't imitate him. The path costs too much. 2, he doesn't want to be feared. He just doesn't need to be liked. Fear isn't his currency, but indifference to approval is his power. Most people crave acceptance like oxygen. They shrink or shapeshift to stay liked. But the Sigma? He'd rather be alone than diluted. He doesn't chase admiration or fear rejection because he's mastered self-regard. People mistake this neutrality for coldness. But it's not apathy, it's emotional discipline. He's not ice. He's control. And that control shakes people who rely on external reactions to feel alive. When you don't need validation, you operate from truth, not performance. That's what unnerves the crowd. He isn't playing. He's just being. And that's far more powerful than any dominance display. 3, he doesn't chase status. He walks through it like fog. Everyone wants the corner office. He wants the building gone. The Sigma male doesn't hunger for power because he sees through its illusion. Titles, accolades, hierarchies, they mean nothing if your soul is rented to the system. While others bend themselves into social shapes, the Sigma exits the grid entirely. He doesn't flex status, he dissolves its grip. That terrifies men who spent their lives chasing approval disguised as ambition. He's not rebellious, he's uninterested. His silence in the face of power reveals something devastating. Status only controls those who believe in it, and he doesn't. That's what makes him lethal. He can't be bribed, he can't be baited, and he definitely can't be broken by symbols that mean nothing to him. 4, he's not quiet. He's calculating noise before speaking. Some men fill silence with sound. He fills rooms with presence. Silence isn't absence, it's strategy. The Sigma uses it like a blade. He doesn't rush to fill gaps, he listens to them. Because inside that stillness, people reveal themselves. When he speaks, it cuts. Not because it's loud, but because it's surgical. While others throw words like confetti, he drops bombs made of insight. That's why his silence feels confrontational. You feel watched, scanned, not judged, understood. And in a world addicted to validation, being understood feels invasive. He doesn't talk much, but when he does, you listen. Because you know he meant every damn word. 5, his exit hurts more than his presence. You never realize how much energy he carried until it's gone. The Sigma male leaves like he lived on his own terms. No drama, no farewell tour. Just an absence so cold, it echoes. People expect closure. He offers none. Not out of cruelty, but clarity. When he's done, it's final. No door left ajar, no message left unsent. And that devastates people who fed off his energy but never respected it. His silence becomes their punishment. Not because he wanted revenge, but because his peace is louder than their noise. You don't miss him because he made a scene. You miss him because he was the scene and you didn't notice until it vanished. 6. You can't shame a man who owns his darkness. The world uses guilt to cage people. He burned the blueprint. Guilt is a leash, shame is a muzzle. But the Sigma wears no collar. He's done the dark work, faced his shadows, named his flaws, bled in silence. So when the world tries to guilt him into compliance, it fails. He's not perfect, but he's immune to manipulation because he has nothing to hide. His past isn't a weapon you can use, it's a blueprint he already rewrote. That's what unnerves manipulators. Their games fall flat when he doesn't flinch. You can't blackmail a man who doesn't beg for forgiveness, and you can't shame someone who turned their flaws into armor. 7. He doesn't destroy egos. He starves them of attention. You want to fight? He gives you silence. That's what breaks you. Egos need an audience. The Sigma gives them emptiness. And that's what drives people insane. They launch attacks, bait drama, and get met with nothing. No counterattack, no defense. Just indifference that kills their performance mid-scene. He doesn't engage. He extracts. Not energy data. Your need to provoke him says more about you than him, and he reads it all before walking away. He doesn't crush egos. He lets them starve quietly, effectively, and without breaking a sweat. 8. His standards aren't high, they're specific. It's not that you weren't good enough, it's that you weren't right. The Sigma doesn't seek perfection, he seeks alignment. That's what confuses people. He doesn't want more, he wants truth. And truth doesn't need decoration, it needs recognition. He can see potential, but he doesn't invest in what drains. That makes people feel judged, discarded even. But in reality, he's just protecting his energy like it's currency, because for him, it is. Most people throw themselves at situations hoping someone will mold them, shape them, or tolerate them. The Sigma doesn't do tolerance, he does resonance. Either your energy matches, or he moves on without hesitation. His standards aren't impossible, they're intentional. And that's the real reason people stumble. Not because his bar is too high, but because they've never asked themselves what they truly stand for. They've never defined their principles, so they mistake his clarity for arrogance. He doesn't want to build you. He wants to meet you already built, tested, scarred, and fully aware of your architecture. Anything less than that, and he disappears like he was never there. 9. He doesn't lead with words. He leads by withholding them. Influence isn't about being followed. It's about being felt without saying much. Charisma isn't volume, it's gravity. And the Sigma carries it in spades, not through charm, but through uncompromising stillness. He doesn't rally crowds. He doesn't pander to applause. He doesn't need to. The room bends around his presence because it's rare to witness someone who isn't trying. That's what draws people in authenticity without effort. His silence isn't passive, it's magnetic. People feel the weight of his focus, the calm that replaces chaos. That's why others fumble in his presence. They're not reacting to him, they're reacting to what he reflects back. Their own desperation for validation, their own noise, their own internal void. While others scramble for attention, he becomes unforgettable by saying less and watching more. That's real power, not in control, but in composure. The kind that lingers, echoes, and forces people to reevaluate themselves just because he walked into the room and didn't flinch. 10. He didn't come to impress. He came to disrupt. The most dangerous man isn't the one shouting at the system, it's the one living like it doesn't exist. The Sigma didn't show up to dazzle. He showed up to dismantle. Not by force, but by functioning entirely outside the system's rules. He doesn't need recognition. He doesn't need permission. And he sure as hell doesn't need your validation to evolve. His existence is rebellion. His peace is confrontation. His stillness is proof that there's another way to live, and it requires no applause. He's not here to be understood. He's here to make the system irrelevant. On a final note, you don't prepare for a Sigma. You feel him long after he's gone. He's not a myth. He's not a phase. He's the living proof that you can walk through society's lies and come out clean. He's rare, not because he's better, but because most men won't walk that far alone. And when they meet him, they realize they were never free, just well-behaved.